guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, you are here today because the Blues has played the Hurricanes at home at Eden Park. Yeah, to be honest, this wasn't that entertaining of a game in my opinion. Both teams lacked a fair bit of creativity, and this is like an old rival, very important game for both teams. And I just feel like both teams were just way too conservative with their style in this game. And yeah, this was a tight game. This was a close game. A fair bit of penalty goal kicking, penalty milking as well, especially around the rocks. And overall, the most exciting part of this entire game was Beauden Barrett kicking bonus. What is it? Doing banana kicks, right? If the most exciting part of the game is just some banana kicks from Beauden Barrett, yeah, that tells you a lot about what really kind of happened. A very grindy style of game, lots of forwards just crashing the ball, only when a penalty is given out, when either teams try to go wider and try to make a play. And then, yeah, just a lot of if the Blues kind of went back to their style from last year, just, crash ball, albeit much slower at the breakdowns. Hurricanes are pretty similar style as well, just crash ball, pick and goes, tight areas. Occasionally the teams trying to go wide and to really a lack of creativity and just end up going sideways. And yeah, and the kicking game as well. Lots of up and unders, lots of box kicks, back and forward with just unimaginative. Those long range bombs down the field. If you do want to do those long range bombs, at least set yourself up for a potential 50-22. Now both teams are just having to punt the ball down the field again and again and again, and there was very few counter attacking. Despite the both teams have some pretty decent wingers. Naholo from Hurricanes. You've got Caleb Clark in the Blues. Mark Talea, both All Blacks level wingers, and instead both teams are just happy to punting the ball down the field or putting up and under instead of actually counter attacking with their speed and agility. So a little bit disappointing there too. So yeah, there was the scrummaging was quite even in the first half. Tyra Lomax made his return. In the second half, the Hurricanes was clearly boring in on the tight head side. The loose head side against Tava on the tight head side from the Blues. I thought there probably should have been a couple more penalties against that. The Angus Garner just happy to reset the scrum a few times, especially with such a tight game. I thought Garner should just gone for a warning and went for the penalty with the wheeling from either team, but he just went for the reset. I didn't really think that was necessary, and the lots of milking penalties around the breakdowns, especially with the halfback shenanigans. Yeah, I mean it is what it is. The turnovers of the breakdowns was pretty much what the key to the game. Both teams was in various degrees found success trying to turn the ball over. Karifi did some good job, but overall, yeah, it was just came down to penalties. Really came down to penalties. Not much creativity at all in this game. I thought Cameron Roigard, his box kick was probably the best part out of Hurricanes gameplay. It's like really high. I don't know what else to say. Really high box kicks, almost to the level that you might imagine someone of Anton Dupont performing. And I wonder if he just wanted to punt the ball down the field, how far would he actually get out of those box kicks if he had just gone for the distance instead of going for the height. But yeah, not much else to say really. Let me know your thoughts about this game. And 19 points to 18, the Blues screeching out 1 point win. So 1 try to the Blues, 2 to the Hurricanes, 460 run meters to the Hurricanes, 429 run meters, 139 carries for the Blues, 117 for the Hurricanes. 9 turnovers are conceded for the Blues, 13 against Hurricanes. Pretty low for both teams because neither teams really wanted to play the ball that much at all, especially in the second half. Lots of kicking, punting the ball down the field, and you can't concede a turnover if you don't really, if you're avoiding to run the ball altogether, pretty much. 155 tackles for the Blues, 24 missed tackles. 188 tackles for the Hurricanes, 20 missed tackles. 29 kicks in play for the Blues, 24 for the Hurricanes. 1 penalty goal missed from Beauden Barrett. A few missed from Jorge Pa. There was a conversion miss and 2 penalty goals missed. There was one right in front as well, like fair bit distance away. But yeah, probably if one of those has landed, the Hurricanes could have squeezed out this one, I guess. Kick meters 973 for the Blues, 654 for the Hurricanes. Two charge downs for the Hurricanes against the Hurricanes. Actually, that's a bit interesting. One lineout loss for the Blues out of four. Four lineouts lost for the Hurricanes out of 15. The lineouts was actually pretty poor. There was despite there was only four officially lost, there was so many lineouts where it's just not straight. But the Blues didn't contest against the Hurricanes, especially in the first half. And if the Blues had contested, there would have been more turnovers as a result of just simply ball thrown in, not straight. So yeah, I mean, I don't like the law change, but it is what it is. Quite even on the scrummaging, but I thought the Hurricanes really had a boring in problem in the second half. 14 penalties conceded against the Blues, 1 yellow card. 8 penalties against the Hurricanes, no yellow cards. The Blues and Hurricanes, yeah, both just kicked a 1 penalty during the yellow card period. I was really disappointed because the Hurricanes was like right up the try line, almost going to score when the yellow card was about to expire. And then instead of just going one more time to play, to go for potential opportunity to get the try before the Blues players come, Blues yellow card come back on. The Hurricanes just decided to take 3 points, and then after the 3 points were taken, the yellow card ran out, and the Blues just like back to full lineup. And it was almost like the Blues kicked the 3. Let's just kick 3 as well to make the scoreboard look better instead of actually seizing the opportunity that's in front of the team when they have one player advantage for another 30 seconds. And if you play the penalty, could have gone for more than 30 seconds without against the team with only 14 players there too. And this was a penalty. I think it was against Patrick Puutalopu. High shot into a tackle. Player was falling, so just the yellow card, no upgrading to red. Yeah, Angus Garner, referee. Other than the scrum resets and not making a decision, I thought overall was pretty decent. Made very clear on his decisions, and and overall I thought it was pretty good performance by the referee. Pretty consistent, and it was a bit of a mess. Like the breakdown. Like I said, lots of penalty milking, and I think overall he made the right decisions. At least he made a good explanation, give everybody a good reason for his decision, and I think that is the most important. So let's have a look at the recap of the game. Really not much happened. Took about 13 minutes for a yellow card for a shoulder charge by Patrick Tuipulotu, and then a few minutes later the Blues had a penalty, and the Blues kind of like 17 minutes on the clock. Blues kind of like, yeah, that's long enough. Going without scoring, let's just take 3 plus overplay in the bin, so the Blues kick 3. And then obviously talk about this a lot, if you kick 3 points, you're actually giving the opportunity for the opposition to score tries, to put pressure back on you. It's harder to defend with 14 than it is to attack. So yeah, there was a penalty to the Hurricanes that went for a maul. Really messy. There was a splinter away on the maul, and then it looked like it was a try, but the referee says no try, and the no try, and there was obstruction. So there wasn't obstruction, and the Blues, sorry, the Hurricanes went I think for one more attempt here before they decided to take 3 points, and there was still at least 30 seconds left on the clock before Patrick Tuipulotu came back on. So Hurricanes happy to take 3 after some. I think that the maul could have worked if they just gone for it again, but they didn't back themselves. So 3 points apiece, 20 minutes into the game. 26 minutes of the game, another penalty for the Blues. 6 points to 3, taking the lead. 31 minutes of the game, Hurricanes did what they probably should have done 20 minutes ago. They had a penalty, they went for the line out, they went for the maul, and then they piled themselves through for a try. Ilse gets this one, 10 points to 6, Hurricanes lead. 34 minutes into the game, there was a penalty against Dalton Papali'i at the breakdown. Hurricanes kick another one, 6 points to 13. Just before halftime, the Blues gets themselves some full momentum. Same style they did last year. Lots of just pick and go. Got a penalty, and there was a quick tap on the penalty instead of deciding if they want to go for scrum or anything or go for the penalty kick. They just rumbled through really close to the try line, and then there was lots of pick and go, and eventually Marcel Renata gets the only try on the ball for the Blues. 13 points to 13, half time. Second half starts, 43 minutes into the game. There was I think there was a high tackle from Beauden Barrett. The Hurricanes kicked 3 points for this, 16 points to 13. Anyway, there was a Blues kicked this one actually, 13 points to 13, not hard tackle by Beauden Barrett. Then 53 minutes, I think this was a high tackle by Beauden Barrett, just very light, and there was missed by Hohepa. 60 minutes into the game, lots of piling in the fast breakdown. There was a penalty for the Blues, a quick tap. There was, the penalty by the Blues. There was quick tap by Hurricanes, crashed through center field, and then the ball eventually quickly went out wide to Ruben Love, and then quick ball to Punavai out wide, open note, +1. 16 points to 18 for the Hurricanes, another missed conversion. The 65 minutes of the game, there was not a penalty to the Blues. They go for the 3, 19 points to 18. The 75 minutes again, another penalty for the Blues. The Beauden Barrett missed this one from pretty far out, and that was pretty much it. The Hurricanes, last-ditch effort, tried to run the ball, 60 meters, 70 meters, and they just really didn't get anywhere, just went sideways, and then it eventually was pushed out. Yeah, really unimaginative game from both teams. Blues grinded out for the win to stay alive this season, which is quite important for the fans. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about this game. Like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.